your headphones, it's time to mob it up. We're the Colts crew, ain't no one above us. Breaking down the news, rumors and games, keeping it real, no one can tell. Every Tuesday, bringing that heat with special guests. Reporters will meet players in the house, bringing the A-game. Talking about the Colts, we're all about the fame. We're the hottest sports podcast, no doubt. Covering the Colts, hear the fans shout. From Lucas Oil to the Super Bowl, with a horseshoe mob. Keeping you in the fall, let's go, let's go. Horseshoe mob, we're storming through the town. Harris, Austin, Josh, and Chris, we never slow down. Everything Colts, we got the blue pride, making Indianapolis proud. We're taking this ride on the grapevine. We're a force to be reckoned with every touchdown. We keep the city beckoning, we bleed blue. Our love for the Colts run deep, we'll keep cheering. We're the hottest sports podcast, no doubt. Covering the Colts, hear the fans shout. From Lucas Oil to the Super Bowl, with a horseshoe mob. Yeah. Sports podcast, no doubt, covering the Colts.
Welcome back, people. I hope that the weather is as beautiful where you're at as it is out here, because you know what, it's just like for once it's pretty nice, and I probably jinxed it, so it's probably going to be terrible tomorrow, but you know what, the show must go on. All right. So, hey, before we get started, make sure that you are liking, commenting, sharing. Make sure that if you aren't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we're gonna be talking about some Colts stuff. We got actually a lot of Colts news in the last couple of days, so we're just gonna be going over all of that. Austin will not be with us tonight, but he will be back next week, and we will actually be talking more or doing more of the schedule release that we were doing. But before we do all that, welcome back to the HorseShoe Mob Podcast, where we're talking to you everything Colts, making sure that you're covered with everything that you need, any type of news moving forward, and just making sure that you're as in the know as we are. If we know something that you don't, then you know what, we're gonna tell you because we love you. That's why. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get to the guys. We have with us Mr. Josh Sr.
What's good, everybody?
And we have with us the Luka Doncic truther himself, Harish Nukala.
You know, I was just gonna give a simple hello, but I just want to say real quick, Mavs and Sixers.
Fair, I wouldn't mind. All because I don't like the city of Boston, but we'll explain that later on. Not tonight, though. Not
a lot of people do, so that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know Josh won't say the other team and anything, because then he would be hated by his Laker nation.
Well, my reasoning is a little bit more petty, but I'm gonna say it's just like it primarily has to do with the fact that I hate Ben Affleck. But
okay. That's deep.
No, I hate Ben Affleck. He was the worst daredevil ever. But and I'm Chris Jackson. So we'll definitely go ahead and get into it. All right. But before we do, make sure that you go to www.fanbattlesports.com so you'll be able to see all our Colts related content. You can see AFC, there's other AFC South stuff on there, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? You're coming for the Colts content, right? And then you'll be able to see the article that was just written by Josh about one of the topics we're going to discuss tonight. So make sure you're going to www.fanbattlesports.com. Make sure that you go to that Colts section where you can see articles. You'll be able to see past episodes, bios, and you'll be able to see the newest content, including that article from our very own Josh Sr.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So without further ado, well, first off, guys, how are y'all doing? How's everybody feeling?
Awesome.
I'm feeling good, man. Good to be back.
Fantastic. I love to hear it. I love love to see my people prospering. And speaking of prospering, can we just all just give it up for this rookie class? Because I believe as of today, the entire rookie class is signed because A.D. Mitchell signed his rookie deal as of today. So big big shouts to everybody getting it done, not leaving us in limbo. I believe it's like a 4-year,
4 year.
$7.9 million deal.
Yep.
Yep. So, hey, listen, AD's locked in. The whole draft class is locked in. So we have nothing outstanding. Everybody's gotten paid, or at least is locked in to make sure they're getting paid. So yeah, this is shout out to Ballard for getting everybody's deal done. This way they can focus on football and football only. And yeah, speaking of AD Mitchell, we've heard a lot of great things coming out of OTAs. I think today was another one where they said that he's actually been making a lot of athletic plays. He caught like a back corner toe tap end zone catch from AR, which was apparently absolutely marvelous. Which I
need that video. I need that video.
Yeah. Like I said, we see that video, then we'll definitely be able to see like, oh, okay, this is happening. This is happening. But yeah, so we've heard a lot of things about AD Mitchell so far. So I mean, as of right now, it sounds like him and AR are actually getting off on the good foot when it comes to how they're being able to build chemistry. Josh Downs, him and AR are, I'm going to say they're pretty much picking up where they left off last season. I think coming out today, it was 5 targets with 4 receptions and 11 on 11 play. And then Josh Downs scored a touchdown on one of them. So, I mean, I don't know whether that's really good for AR and Josh Downs or really bad when we're talking about the secondary. But you know what? I'll take the former.
I'm okay with the offense clicking like that because, like I said, there's been a weakness for us for the past couple of years. And to get the quarterback and receiver on the same page, and even with AD Mitchell in the folder of things, I'm happy. If we can get AP in there, Alec Pierce, this offense can be real scary.
I mean, he's gonna have to work his way in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he needs to work his way all the way from 5th string. But yeah, I'm really
well, at least not a gunner on special teams.
Yeah, unlike some first round picks we know.
Yeah.
Imagine getting picked first round to be the next AJ Brown, and yet you're a gunner in just 3 years.
Wow.
Couldn't be us.
Yeah. Hey, listen. They'll blame it on John Robinson, even though they were talking about he was best GM in the entire league at one point. But you know what? They forget that. One thing about people who ingest mayo at a very high volume, they always have the worst memory.
They're confused like this here.
Oh my God. Not Chex Mix. Enough's enough, Josh. All right. So you know what?
You don't like Chex Mix? You don't like Chex Mix?
No.
Oh.
No. What?
Well, my bad.
I'm a civilized human being. What do you mean?
Oh, Chex Mix.
No, not Chex Mix.
What do you think? It's infused with mayo or something?
I mean, if it was, it would make a lot more sense.
Not for me.
Like, hey, let's take this random cereal that people barely ever buy and put a bunch of random stuff like chocolate and pretzels in it.
Shit sells, bro.
You know what? Enough's enough. Listen, Daniel Scott tore his Achilles today. So Daniel Scott tore his Achilles today, and I think we need to have an honest discussion here regarding how we view some of the players that we see that get hurt and exactly like where they're supposed to be. Because one thing that I see, and like I said, I ride for my team. I get it. I understand like the thought process, how everything goes into it. But one issue that I have is that like immediately after hearing about the injury, people are saying, oh yeah, well, so what are they going to do about safety, this, that, and the other? And if we're being completely honest, he wasn't even a lock to start. I mean, he was somebody who possibly could work his way into the rotation, maybe. But I mean, this is his second season-ending injury since last year. And I mean, he was drafted at 25 years old. So that means that now when he comes back next year, healed up, recovered, ready to go, he's going to be that much closer to being 30. So, I mean, and the thing is, it's just like, was there ever really an expectation that he was going to end up being the starter this year?
No.
Oh, can I answer this question?
Yeah, no, this is open forum, so yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But we like the group we have.
Should have known. I set myself for that one. But it's frustrating because, like, while we see this, Quandre Diggs and Justin Simmons are still like just sitting out there twiddling their thumbs.
Eddie Jackson, you got the other guys in that group.
Xavier Howard's still out there. Oh, I guess this isn't corner. But I think this is the thing, right? This is Daniel Scott's just the latest of names that Chris Ballard is trying to shove down our throats, right?
Yeah.
Daniel Scott. All we hear about Daniel. He's such a young guy. He's still young. Safety's hard to play. He's really good. We really like his upside, and the reality is he can't stay healthy. Like.
Yeah.
That is the reality. And look, these injuries are unfortunate. It sucks. I'm really sorry that happened to him. But we're already this is the worst position on the team.
Yeah.
Depth wise, right? And talent wise, this is the worst position on the team. You basically have Julian Blackmon, and that's it.
Yeah, it's Julian Blackmon, and then it's a severe drop off unless you choose to actually play Nick Cross full time and see what you have with him instead of, basically just basically just having him on a leash for the third season in a row talking about, oh, he's not ready. He's not ready. Well, I mean, listen, he was drafted when he was 20 years old. Last year was his second year. I mean, the guy's 22. If for some reason we're in year 3 and you feel like he's still not getting it, then whatever you were doing, whatever you thought you were doing just isn't working. Like the only way that a lot of these guys are going to be able to do anything is to go ahead and have a veteran back there who can potentially teach you the ropes, which we don't have right now, or we actually go ahead and make sure that you go and put as much into, having like a coach out there, making sure that you're coaching him up and finding out, and then throwing him out there. The worst that can happen when you throw him out there is he could be worse than Rodney Thomas. And I don't think that's actually a possibility at this point, because to me, I just don't think Rodney Thomas is that good. I think he gets lost in coverage a lot. And we saw that Nick Cross, especially in the limited amount of snaps that we saw last season, like it's not gonna it's not going to work out.
Bringing in Mike Mitchell, former Colt, former Steeler safety, it did help Nick Cross in the limited time that he did play. So I don't know if I forgot who they brought in to replace Mike Mitchell. I think it's another former player. But like you said, I mean, year 3 and we still need to babysit him. Then it just shows that Chris Ballard just draft guys and he's trying to figure out what they can do. Same thing with Daniel Scott, who's going to be a grown man.
He is a grown man.
This is my problem with Chris Ballard. Again, he fails to pivot.
Yeah,
he fails to pivot as a GM, and that's a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
he's stick to the road. This is the road. It's only straight. There's no left. There's no right. We're going down the same damn road for however long we can go down.
Yeah,
and that goes back to roster building. It goes back to these relying on deep draft picks, holding on to draft picks. Like this is just that whole thing again, right? Where it's like pivot, like do something different. Help this team become the team that needs to get over the hump. Because look, at the end of the day, if this team does not succeed, and I define success by division title and a playoff win.
Yeah,
if that doesn't happen this year, he's got to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm with you, because it's frustrating to go through the exact same thing every year, knowing that there are places that need to be fixed, and all you're doing is literally just relying on the draft and then just poaching undrafted guys off of other people's practice squads. And to me, and this is the reason why I hate the word depth now. Like, I can't hear the word depth charge when it comes down to the oceans, or even in regards to Transformers. I used to love the Transformers cartoon. I hear depth charge now, and I get pissed off based off the word depth. Because the thing is, we've been so conditioned to just be okay with the term depth that all of a sudden, anybody that we pick up, like we picked up an O lineman off the Giants practice squad. Now, let me tell you the irony in picking up somebody who wasn't good enough to be on the Giants' terrible offensive line. If he wasn't good enough to be on the Giants' offensive line, what in the hell makes you think that he would even be remotely serviceable if we needed him to play for us in the event of injury? Like, I don't understand it. And Ballard's approach it continues to be very ego driven. It also continues to be very very stalwart. Like, he's very much like, this is what it is, this is what we have. I drafted this class because I'm the GM, and I'm just okay with everybody that we have because that's what it is. But the thing is, continuously not addressing this, like having guys just kind of sitting out there, it doesn't make sense. Like, you have somebody like Justin Simmons who not only can come in and play, but can potentially be serviceable and make sure that you're mentoring some of those younger guys coming up, like being able to take a little pressure off of Julian Blackman, possibly being able to see if you can make Rodney Thomas better in that time span, or then looking at the other guys like Nick Cross, and you're not doing that, and you're just completely feigning it, saying, okay, well, you know what, you just got to let them develop. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for development is bring somebody in who's already been there and done that.
Got the experience, yeah.
But
I'm looking at the rest of this roster, right? You have Nick Cross, Julian Blackman. Those are your only two healthy safeties. You have Kendall Brooks, who's a rookie, which honestly I don't know who that is. He's probably an undrafted guy.
Kendall Brooks, the
Marcel Dabo, the safety from Germany, right?
Still developing.
Chris Ballard loves him. Still developing. Trevor Denbo, who's a fourth-year guy, is a special teams guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Thomas, I don't even know he knows what football is.
7th round. Yeah.
And then Michael Tutsi, again, another undrafted guy who's undersized to play safe. So those are your safeties on this roster right now after this injury. Like this is pathetic, because now, again, we always end up in the same situations in the month of June every year, right?
Yeah.
Last year, the Rodgers stuff happened in June. The year before that, it was the wide receiver stuff in June. June. I don't know what was up with June and the Colts, but it's not good. And
offensive line the year before that.
Yeah, offensive line year before that. Quarterback, whatever. But 45 days from now, I can guarantee you, and we all know this, it's going to come down to,
But we like the group we have.
That's what it's going to come down to. Like, we're gonna get in some training camp on the field, NFL Network interview, some riveting that's going to happen. It's like, well, we've got a really young group, and we really like the guys we have. And no, we don't. I don't know why you like the guys you have, because this is going to cost this team some games if we don't address this.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the reality.
And that's the biggest issue, because now I think it's just like not being willing to address certain areas puts pressure on other areas of the field. Because the thing is, now it's just like, and once again, I think we're just putting too much into Daniel Scott tearing his Achilles, because to me, the best he probably could have been maybe was just like a special teams guy. But if we're being like completely real about it, now it's just like, okay, there's less depth at safety. Fantastic. But the thing is, safety should have been something that was already addressed. So the thing is, let's just say we go into the season with Julian Blackman, Rodney Thomas, then something happens with Rodney Thomas, or something happens with Julian Blackman. We basically have Nick Cross and Rodney Thomas out there. And the thing is, even then, it's just like, I have a bit of faith in Nick Cross, because we had the chance to see him last season, and he actually did play pretty well. I think the Steelers game was a good indicator of what he's potentially capable of. But then we're also looking at the fact that we know that there's a need to go ahead and have guys over there who aren't depth guys, who are actual starters, because you can't keep on thinking that you're just going to pick random people up off the street and then you'll just be able to plug and play like that. Like, it just doesn't go like that. And that's the thing that's the most irritating when it comes to this repeated approach. It's just like, this approach isn't working.
Well, we should know that it's year 8 and it's the same approach. Whether it be offensive line, quarterback, running back, receiver, cornerback. Like last year, like I said, we lost Flowers and we really and Juju, and we really couldn't pick back up. The secondary was even worse.
But that's the thing, because if we're being honest, Flowers was another Daniel Scott last year.
Yeah.
Like everybody put all this stock into Dallas Flowers just because they said, "Oh yeah, he's looking really good," but there was nothing that indicated that. The only person that we saw literal progression from was Isaiah Rodgers, because we saw that he went from being just a special teams guy to getting some limited snaps on defense to Gus Bradley not playing him in favor of Brandon Bum Facison, and then Isaiah Rodgers coming in and actually locking people up. And then, of course, he has his nonsense. But the thing is, we saw the progression from Isaiah Rodgers. With Dallas Flowers, it's a little bit different because we have yet to see it. Now, it's not to say that he can't, because I think there's a chance that he might actually be able to. But the thing is, you're putting this hope on an unproven product.
Right.
But even then, right? Let's just say Dallas Flowers did work out. You still... These guys are playing like 60, 70 snaps a game now. This isn't like the old NFL where you play 35, 40 snaps. You might play 3-4 drives a game.
Yeah.
These defenses, especially our defense, because we like to, play 85 yards off the line of scrimmage. The defense plays 85, 90 snaps a game. You need guys over the course of a game. And this is just an offensive driven league. So teams throw the ball a lot more. Quarterbacks are throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game. And that's the new normal. So you let's just say everybody stays healthy, right? After this injury. You still need guys because they play a lot. And I'm confident in Rodney McLeod, whatever the hell his name is.
Rodney Thomas.
Rodney Thomas playing, 30% of that. No, I'm not confident. I'm just not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's just the biggest issue that I'm having right now is the fact that we've seen it, and we've seen the story time and time again, and it almost feels like there's members of like Colts media that go on like Twitter or go on social media and just say, "Hey, this guy is looking really good. This is somebody you should be excited about." And because the fan base is what the fan base is, everybody gets super excited, and then all of a sudden we're like really excited for Dallas Flowers. And once again, I don't mean to pick on, because I think that he potentially could have a good year and actually could go in and do work. But the thing is, the fan base becomes complacent with a guy, and then it becomes almost less willing to just go ahead and just be like, "Hey, why are we not going after somebody else?"
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean,
I just get more surprised when we sign somebody these days.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't expect it.
I would definitely take Flowers over. I know Tony Brown is gone, and I know we still have Baker on the team, but I definitely take Flowers over Baker starting.
I don't know. I don't know. He just came off of it. He just tore his Achilles.
I take that over a guy that's starting.
It might be the same. Honestly, we just don't know. And that's the problem. Because of the nature of the injury, you just don't know.
Yeah, I take Flowers over a fully healthy Darryl Baker 9 times out of 10.
That's not bad. Baker,
maybe, yeah. I don't know. You know who I really like? I really like Jalen Jones. I think Jalen Jones has the
yeah.
I think he was on that trajectory that Rodgers was on, where he had a really good season. I think that's a guy that, well, for what he was drafted for, he had a solid season as a rookie.
Yeah.
Because of that experience, I think he's a guy that could take that step, right? If he's given the opportunity. I would be more confident in him than I am in Dallas Flowers at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? But you know what? Let's go ahead and let's pivot away from how for about this. Oh, wait, actually, then Leslie says it's just been a week. They have 6 weeks to look around. And the thing is, and Leslie, I
Get you.
I understand. I understand where you're coming from, but the thing is, we're talking about secondary when secondary was something that we were talking about since free agency, before free agency even,
Yeah.
because we knew that there was a need for a veteran presence. Now, it's not to say that there are still guys out there, because yes, there are guys out there that we could potentially go ahead and look into, but it's like I said, it's just like injuries start piling up and then guys go faster and faster and faster, and then next thing you know, everything is cleared out. And you know,
I
like I
guess
said, safety, yeah, like and this thing is like safety is, I think safety was a need even prior to anything that we were doing before, because like I said, we took a guy who was a safety in college and moved him over to cornerback. So now it's just like you have a guy who's pretty much just going to be on a learning curve potentially to be able to just get in and just understand exactly like how that position goes. So, I mean, we know that there's time. We'll see what happens. But on a lighter note, we got the news, I think it was yesterday, that a fan favorite of sorts, and it's a guy that isn't mentioned much from the Manning era, but you know what? We need to be talking about him more. Dallas Clark is going to be inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor. So yes, so clap it up for Mr. Clark, because absolutely, I want to say it's just like he's somebody whose name kind of gets lost when you start talking about the Manning era, because you know when you talk about the Manning era, you talk about Edgerrin James, you talk about Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison. I mean, even the O line gets brought up, like Tarek Glenn, Ryan Deem, like those guys, Jeff Saturday. But you know what? Dallas Clark is a name that normally gets, I'm going to say, gets lost in the mix just because of the fact that he was one of those clutch contributors. Like, he didn't always have like the most dazzling stats, but I mean, he, like, whenever you needed him, he came up big with a play, and he came up in a big way. So yes, he'll be inducted, and it's looking like, I believe he's going to be inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor during the Miami game.
Oh, yeah, October
20th.
Let me go back and look. I think it was the 20th.
Yeah, and then Leslie says Dallas with the clapping hands. Yes, we are very happy about it, because once again, it's just like he's somebody that generally gets forgotten from time to time when we're talking about like the Colts all time guys. But I'm definitely glad that he's going to be getting his flowers, because he is, he definitely was somebody who came in clutch, who was just, I'm gonna say, who was just he was a dude, like for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it is October 20th.
Oh, it's October 20th?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Miami
okay, so
game.
October 20th. Yep.
There's a date. Okay.
Yep. So
like you said, I mean, his 2009 season was best season as a Colt. With that 100-catch season, I think he had 1,100 yards, maybe 3 or 4 touchdowns, and earned him a Pro Bowl and our Pro honor. So he just had, like I said, his numbers don't stick out like Gronk or Travis Kelce, but he made key plays. I think I remember he had a nice play against a Miami game, not in the Super Bowl, but against Miami, in Miami, and it was crazy. I think they was remember the days of Miami running that Wildcat offense.
Yeah.
Well, I think Ronnie Brown and somebody, I think, and
Ronnie Brown, Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington, Ronnie Brown. Was it Ricky Williams?
Ricky Williams was there for a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a game where they was pretty much handling us, and Dallas Clark was a key player in that game to get us back in that game and win the game. So that shows where this honor is just owed to him, and everybody's. I mean, he got all reactions from all the former players, even players like this wear 44 on the team right now, and Zaire. So it's a great accomplishment, and hopefully one of us can be at that game to see it in person.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, I think it's long overdue. I think it is something. Now, I do have a question, and matter of fact, in the comments, people can chime in. Whether the man said that man was getting killed out there for Peyton, absolutely. So yes, and they're laughing about it. That's for sure.
I
So
did.
there was an interesting question that came up in a chat that I'm in. So they were talking about the Ring of Honor. So
Hmm.
two names came up. Well, actually three names. And I'm going to name them in order, and this was the order that I said. I said absolutely, definitely, and not immediately, but later on, yes. And those were Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton, and Shaq Leonard.
No, Shaq is definitely a no for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why so?
He played 3 seasons.
No.
Well, he played more than that.
He played 3 seasons, and then he got. I
You
think
sure?
I think Shaq is one of those guys where he was really good, and he was a fan favorite, and so because he was a fan favorite, he's got to be in the. He had some very good seasons. Look, don't get me wrong, he had some very good seasons, but what impact from a winning perspective did those seasons bring to us? And this is why I think it's different from Andrew Luck, because Andrew Luck was short, but Andrew Luck literally carried this franchise for 5 years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about
And
it.
when
It's
you
just
think
like
about Ring of Honor, right? You think
yeah,
let's use Dallas Clark. A lot of people don't talk about Dallas Clark. I personally think Dallas Clark helped transform the game for tight ends. Like without Dallas Clark, you don't have Rob Gronkowski. You don't have,
Travis
in
and
the NFL. You don't have guys like that.
yeah,
But yeah, and I think Dallas Clark is a Hall of Famer, easily a Hall of Famer. Because you talk about guys that transform the game. Dallas Clark changed the game for tight ends. And
yeah.
I will die on the hill. Yeah, I mean, I love Darius Shaq Leonard. I don't think he did enough for this franchise. The best we did with Darius Leonard was win a playoff. And that
Yeah.
okay,
was
yeah.
because of Andrew Luck.
I saw the stats. Well, as far as like career wise, yeah, he played like 4, complete seasons. You're right. So the other season was just hurt. The other 3 or 4, it was he just hurt. So, um, Ring of Honor. I mean, we probably say no because of that, but I think the team would still do that because he still's in Indy. He go to the Fever game. He go to Coast game. So they're gonna feel sorry probably and go ahead and induct him in it, regardless of what we say. Most likely.
I think eventually Andrew Luck will get in the Ring of Honor and we'll kind of be able to close that chapter.
Yeah.
I think that'll eventually happen. What did you say about Ty?
I said definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think Ty definitely goes. I think that's another guy, right? He's a guy that came in. He produced for this team. He won this team so many big games with his playmaking.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Andrew Luck was on the receiving side of that, but he definitely he's got the accolades too, right? The stats, the pure stats in Colts franchise history. What is he like? The third most receiving yards in franchise history, or something like that.
I believe so.
If not top 5 for sure.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
well, I mean,
definitely
and the
easily
thing
top.
is, I believe he still, he might have recently just been moved down, but he was, I think, I think it was like a year or two ago, he was number 7 all time for most yards in the first 5 years of their career for wide receivers.
Yeah.
I think, well, once again, I think that might have changed just because of the fact that it's just like the numbers now are just insane. So. But yeah. Oh, by the way, hey, shout out to Justin Jefferson pulling up the Brinks trucks to the Minnesota Stadium. Appreciate you out there. Great contract for Michael Pittman, still confirmed. So yes, that's a great thing. So like here was my reasoning, because like I said, Andrew Luck, I think there's 3 records that he is top 3 in. I think it's most yards in their first like 4 or 5 years. And then there was also there's a few of them. I can't remember, but I'm gonna see if I can pull them up. But there's still a bunch of them that he's still a part of, even to this day. And this is with him not playing for 6 years. Like there's one, and I forget which one it is. It's him, Elway, and Mahomes. And I think it's just the fact that he's able to still be in there or still be able to be mentioned in those record-breaking stats, however it is, it just goes to show that yes, like he definitely was, just light years ahead of where he was supposed to be. Oh, matter of fact, here, I'm sorry, Andrew Luck, he ranked top 5 in NFL history in passing touchdowns and passing yards in a player's first 6 seasons in the NFL, and that is
God, I hate Ryan Grigson.
Yes, he was the
I would
absolute
probably
second.
trip him if I saw him in the street.
Yes. Oh, so here, matter of fact, most passing yards in first 6 seasons, he is third behind Peyton Manning at number 1 and Dan Marino at number 2, and then most passing touchdowns in first 6 seasons. And mind you, this is with years where he was injured. He's second only behind Dan Marino. Dan Marino has 196 passing yards in first 6 seasons, and Luck has 171. So
Yeah,
that
definitely.
lets you know exactly how bad Grigson screwed the pooch. And I don't care if Dan Dakich knows or not, but he sucks too. So like yeah, man, it's just
Can you bring up this comment by Rex, because I don't think this is talked about enough.
yeah, everyone throws out their names that should go in the Ring of Honor, but no one ever mentions Vinatieri, who should be a no-brainer.
Oh,
10,000%.
Well,
yes.
absolutely,
10,000%.
absolutely, absolutely.
10,000%.
For him to be a non like and I think it's just like it was either him or is it what's the name Tucker from Baltimore that is just like scored like the most points.
Yeah.
And it's like for you to be able to do that as a kicker, that's crazy. Like he should absolutely be in the Ring of Honor, and I'm pretty sure like
Both teams.
I don't know if can you be in 2 Rings of Honor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
that's a team thing, right?
Yeah.
So that has nothing to do with the NFL. That's a team thing. So yeah. He definitely deserves to be in the room.
No, absolutely. 100%. Rex, you're 100% correct. Yes, we definitely do. He absolutely should be in the Ring of Honor. So I do think that there are going to be some guys that they add in. Only reason why I say that you definitely add Shaq into it is because of the fact that yes, it was I'm going to say a shorter run that was kind of cut short by injury and not being able to like really stay healthy. But I mean, we can't deny the fact that even leading up to the injury, he had a very dominant run for a very long time. And it was an underrated run because of the fact that you keep on having guys like Fred Warner, whose names are being thrown ahead of him, even though it's just like he had the stats and he had probably more stats than that, even in a defense that wasn't necessarily a great defense.
Yeah, I think taking a look back at it, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. I think Shaq's downfall, minus the injuries, because I think this started to become a problem before the injuries, is it's almost he refused to play within his system. And that's one thing that Fred Warner did really well, or has done really well.
Yeah.
He's learned that he has to play within his system, and he's playing at a very high level in that system at San Francisco. Even after D'Amico Ryans left, he
And
this
Robert-
year, I mean, hell, this year, Fred Warner, I think for the first time I looked at Fred Warner, I was like, oh, dang, this guy's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I think that's the downfall of Shaq for me, is he was a great, and he got a lot of numbers, and I thought that's awesome. But when the team needed him, and when the team needed him to be to play a role, he refused to do it, and he couldn't do it. And I think that hurt this defense a lot more than it helped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's somebody who absolutely is a game changer, but the problem is that it's just like you can only change the game for as much as you're available for it. And like I said, it's just like I think playing in this system, like this system, just didn't work. I mean, also Gus Bradley's system sucks because his defensive scheme as a whole is just outdated. But I mean, it sucks because he's absolutely, he's somebody who could have potentially just been better, but
Yeah.
it just sucks that we have to deal with that now.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, because Matt Eberflus, you could tell, really never ran a system.
oh
He
yeah,
was just like, hey, you go do that and just go make a bunch of plays. And that's where Shaq excelled. Like, he got to use his athleticism. He just got to go do a bunch of shit. It's
well, it
like,
was the same with Kenny. It was because Kenny had that
yeah,
one
Kenny
year
was
in
the
Gus
same way.
Bradley system where he had
But
to
I thought
adjust.
Kenny played
And
well
then
last
this
year.
no, he played well this year, but the year before
Struggled.
with Matt Ryan, he did struggle. So,
Yeah. But
but
then
then
he
again,
figured
the
out,
defense
oh,
spent
wait.
more time on the field than the offense did anyway. So,
Right.
I
But I think
his-
he figured out this year, I've got to learn how to play within the system. And he did that.
yeah,
I think his struggle is more so contract though than it was play. Just being bad on
Yeah, I
defense.
could have played into it. But, by
Yeah.
the time it was all done, I thought Kenny, I was ready to get rid of Kenny Moore. But then he played very well last year.
yeah. I think
So-
Kenny Moore and Ryan Kelly were two people that we thought were definitely going to be gone before
Mo.
last season. But then, Shane Steichen came in, and it's just like, oh, they can still play pretty well. Oh yeah, and Mo. But the thing is, I think the verdict is kind of still out on Mo. Love the guy, but I just don't see it anymore.
Who's that?
Mo Ali Cox.
Jesus Christ. I've been done with Mo Alley Cox for like 5 years. Welcome to the train, bro. I'm glad we finally stopped at your station.
Do you think?
All right.
You think Darius winning the defensive rookie of the year could possibly put him in there? And like I said, he was on pace to, I think, even not break but get to Ray Lewis level. At one point, they had a graphic saying how he was on pace.
Yeah,
Again,
but
when I think about Ring of Honor, it's how do you impact winning for the franchise?
yeah. The thing is, like, so I'm gonna say if we're trying to make a case potentially for injury and impact, then we have to have Bob Sanders in.
Okay,
Because the
right.
thing is, we don't win that Super Bowl without Bob Sanders.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He impacted winning.
Yeah. So and I get that. Like, I understand that. When it says Mo don't know and we'll never know how to block, and that's fair. But the thing is, I think it's also that Mo is just like, Mo has had the opportunity to cement himself as TE1 in this offense, and he still never has. Like, the thing is, he's getting lost in the shuffle with guys like Kylan Granson, who's had some issues with being consistent. And last year, Jelani Woods was hurt. Ogletree had his issues. Will Mallory was out. So then what are we left with? We're left with Granson. We're left with Mo Ali Cox. And then we're left with whoever else can potentially go ahead and be in the fold. And still, Mo finds himself only being, tight end one by default, as opposed to it just being like a clear separation of Mo and then everybody else. And that's the issue that we're having, because now it's just like, it's probably going to end up being like Jelani Woods. If Jelani Woods comes back healthy this year and actually has a pretty good year, tight end 2. If Kylan Granson comes in and he can actually be consistent on a game-to-game basis, Mo's tight end 3. If Will Mallory comes in and plays even remotely half as good as we thought he could have played last season if he didn't get hurt, then Mo's going to move down, and he's going to continue to move down. But the thing is,
Get cut.
Who do you guys think is tight end 1 right now?
Jelani.
I disagree.
It's still Mo until he get cut.
No, I think
Mo should get cut for 100%. Agree.
Yeah,
I think Kylan Granson's our best tight end right now.
he is.
Based on production and based on what we've seen.
So the thing is, I do believe that, but the problem is that Steichen, I believe, is going to be utilizing Jelani Woods in a way that's going to make it so that Granson is going to kind of play off of him. I think Granson has the leg up on the whole entire group because of the fact that he played the best, and he played with AR and Minshew. Jelani Woods has this year where it's just like, technically this is his first year with AR, because he didn't play at all with AR last year. He was nursing that leg injury even, in the preseason.
Yep.
So now it's just like Granson has a leg up on the competition. So Mo, he's gonna have to get in there and get it done. Otherwise, he's going to lose 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. If Mo isn't cut this year, I'm gonna be upset because you're saving money. Plus, again, money you can go use to go get a safety. Not that you need that money to do that, but again, that's just another avenue. And I think he hasn't produced for the cost that he's worth.
Yeah. They said this is Mo's last year. Woods, then Granson, both are bigger and stronger. So yes, Woods, then Granson,
more athletic.
But like I said, but the thing is, once again, if you have Ogletree out there, you have Mallory out there. If the tight end group stays healthy, you have 4 more than capable tight ends who are going to be able to come in and be able to just immediately impact because they all have different skill sets. Yes, exactly. Like they all have different skill sets where they'll be able to come in and play. And like I said, somebody like Jelani Woods, he's somebody who you can go ahead and potentially bring in. And mind you, he's probably going to have a little bit more favor being that he's 6'7" or 6'8". So, I mean, he's definitely going to have that leg up. But like I said, we're going to see. But in the meantime, that is going to be all for us tonight. We will be back next week. We'll be back with Austin, and we'll be on to part 3. We'll be talking about weeks 9 through 12 of the Colts 2024 season. We'll be doing our predictions. In the meantime, make sure that you are subscribing. Make sure that you're going to www.fanbattlesports.com. Make sure that you go and you check out Josh's article tonight. Yes, make sure that you read it. Make sure that you comment on the HorseShoe Mob page how you liked it. I think it's posted on there as well. It's posted on our social media. And speaking of, guys, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on X at Who Is Josh Senior.
All right.
Find me at Twitter at the Uncle Gandhi.
All right. You can find me on Twitter because we don't call it X over here because we're civilized human beings. You can find me at CJ Colts Fan. Make sure that you're subscribing to the YouTube. Make sure that you're subscribing to the HorseShoe Mob HorseShoe Mob podcast page on Facebook, also on Twitter. And and then as Leslie here says, go Colts for the shoe. We love you. Appreciate you, Leslie. Appreciate you, Rex, for tapping in with us. And make sure that you're subscribing. And guys, enjoy the weather. And as always, Sam loves Jalen Ramsey. We love you.